Okay, let's talk about a tactic that employers will use if you try and take them to tribunal that often freaks people out, and it all comes down to a single word: vexatious. A lot of employers will say that if you bring forward a vexatious claim against us, we will ask the tribunal to make you pay our legal costs. And they'll put tens of thousands of pounds about all their legal bills and everything in it, and they will scare people to get them to drop their case. And it all hinges on the fact that their claim must be vexatious. But what does that actually mean? And are your claims going to be vexatious? You can actually see how the tribunal would evaluate this because you can look at previous cases and see how they worked through whether or not a claim was vexatious. So if you want to read this case, the case number is right at the top right. But you can see here that they're giving you a literal definition of vexatious. And generally it means that you know that your case has little or no basis or no discernible basis in the law, but you decide to take it forward anyway, basically because you want to make their life a living hell. But employers often kind of gaslight people into thinking that they're crazy, that they're misguided. And the tribunal even specifically says that is not vexatious. Being misguided or even seriously misguided about the legal basis for your case does not mean that it's vexatious. And that's important because people who don't have representation at employment tribunal are often really confused and just hoping that they're getting it right. And it's totally understandable that if you get a letter as an unrepresented litigant trying to take your employer to tribunal, or even just going through ACAS early conciliation, if you get this letter that basically says, you're misguided, you don't know anything about this, we do, and you're about to have to pay all of our legal bills because of how misguided you are, then you're going to drop your case. You're going to think, oh my God, this is terrible. But misguided is not vexatious. And that's what I want everyone to know. Yes, if you are so blinkered in your case that you will not listen to good advice, if you're deliberately misguided, then you might tip over into vexatious. But if you are engaging with the law, if you are trying to figure out which of the specific parts of the Employment Right Act do I think they violated, which of the specific parts of the Equality Act do I think they violated, then that is not vexatious. So if you get a letter from your employer that is using this keyword, this vexatious, to try and scare you into dropping your case, remember that they don't get to decide what is vexatious. Only the employment tribunal gets to decide that, and you can go right now and see what you think the employment tribunal would say. All you need to do is go to the gov.uk Employment Tribunal Decisions website, go to the search bar and type in vexatious costs, and you're going to find all the cases where the tribunal has discussed whether or not someone should have to pay the other side's costs because they were so vexatious. And then look for a judgment that talks about the cost. You see how that second one says costs? And then download that. And then you'll get a case document that looks very similar to the one I shared at the beginning. And it's written in English, and they're just working through how they are going to decide. And they show you all of the framework that they're going to use to make the decision, and then how they came to the decision. So you can really start to understand how that might apply to you and your particular case. Paying the other side's legal costs is designed in the employment tribunal system to be only a rare, exceptional set of circumstances. Only when somebody is seriously taking the piss or harassing the other side. And that is all you need to figure out is, have I gone over that line? Because if you're not on the side of that line, then you have every right to exercise your legal options, and that is not vexatious.